Okay.
Welcome to the Six Shots Anime podcast, where I have allergy and nose problem, and so does Lugosi. And you won't believe it, Lugosi meets a giant snack, and you won't believe what happens next. That's
Well, that's supposed to be a mystery in the first episode, is what they're going on about. You remember that whole, rattling bit throughout the whole
yeah.
episode?
I'm gonna
I
be
was like, this
real.
is really obvious.
I remember it, but it's like my memory's probably gonna be a bit fuzzy because it's like I watched these when we were supposed to do the thing like the week before, like right before, and then
Yeah.
we got hit with a bunch of delays, and then holidays came around, and then people got sick, and then other people got sick, and then like ad obligations, and like each week off is like, oh, that's 2 weeks until we can do another attempt because you have like, Call of Cthulhu.
And you have other stuff too.
Yeah, so it's been a bit. It's been a good bit.
Don't worry, I recently watched them this week,
This
so I'll do
this
my
is
best.
why you were awesome enough to take all the notes so that I can get things wrong, and then you can be like, actually, he did this thing, and I
I did
can.
take a bunch of notes.
You have
Well,
all
I
the
mean, they're not
notes in the
great.
world, and then I'm gonna say some wild shit about society, and you'll just scroll through the notes and be like, where did that come from?
Yeah, what does that have to do with her
Why
stripping?
why are you comparing Lewis's journey through the whole thing with Dante's Inferno? That wasn't a thing.
Yeah, I don't remember that in Dante's Inferno.
You remember the scene in Dante's Inferno where Dante sees a stripper and then Dante wept?
Yes. Yeah, I think in the first episode, this is where Lewis also comes in. He's like, "I'm quitting the drama club."
Yeah, so end of last
Everybody was
season,
like,
Lewis went
"What?"
missing, and we were like, "Oh no, there goes the
Oh
best
yeah,
character." And they came
I said the
back,
worst.
and it's like, "Oh hi, Lewis," and he's like, "I'm leaving for good," and it's like, "Okay, bye, Lewis."
I hated him.
I'm just sitting there like, "Oh heck yeah, it's good that you're not dead." Anyways, how did that go down?
Actually, where did I think I said, "Oh fuck! Why is this asshole always talking riddles to look smart?" I hate him
yeah.
so much.
Oh man.
It didn't take me long. Episode 1, still hating Lewis.
Yeah. I feel like after all this, if you still don't like Lewis, you are just not going to warm up on this character.
I
He's
mean,
he is pretentious as fuck, and I love that. And you look at that, and you're like, look at this asshole. I hate him.
I don't like douchebags.
He is talking in like overly like flowery fucking nonsense. Like, it seems the light and the dark have finally reversed, have they?
Yeah, like,
And
fuck
Lugosi's just
you.
like, the fuck are you on about? And I'm
Literally, when
just
Lugosi
like,
was like, "What does he mean by that?" I was like, "I don't know, bro."
and I'm like, yeah, it's that thing I was talking about, where it's like he has become the darkness, and Lugosi is the hero, and now like Lugosi's in the limelight, and he's trying to like he's in the spotlight with the carnivores where he technically belongs, and Lewis is slinking off into the shadows to just like descend into hell.
Except that's not what Lugosi's doing at all.
Yeah. Because it's like he was the hero for a bit, and then he's like, no, I'm just going to shun my responsibilities. And he's like trying to like find his own light outside of the spotlight. Meanwhile, Lewis is going through fucking deer hell.
Yeah. I mean, like, nothing really actually happens in the first episode other than Sneck pulls up at the very end.
Is this the one where they just finally bring up like, oh hey, remember that whole Beastars thing? Maybe we should talk
Yeah.
about that.
This is where they're like, oh, hey, right. Do you remember the plot of the first season that we brought up, the Beastar thing?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Juno brings that up, or people bring that up when Juno shows up.
You know
And
how
then,
there's like a Beastar? Yeah, it turns out the reason that hasn't had any progress is because of political reasons.
yeah. So, like, um, there's also another thing that was really confusing to me in this because like they brought up Tim and everything, and I
Yeah.
was like, are they finally gonna get to the plot this season?
And the answer is yes, but not quite yet.
I know I waited 6 episodes and I was still like, I mean, like they kind of got places.
So just straight up, Phustus, we are 6 episodes into season 2. Who do you think the killer is?
Uh, I'm still gonna say it's Bill.
I'm going to be real, you will not get it.
I'm not gonna get it.
You're not gonna get, and you're gonna have ideas, and then you're gonna feel really, really mad.
Uh, so yeah, nothing interesting really happens in episode 1, but episode 2 is where we actually find out about the Beastar being political and everything. And
Right?
the tiger principal dude gives a speech, and I was like, "Yo, nice speech, bro."
Yeah, they're like, hey, you'd actually like, put out a real Beastar. This is crazy.
And
And
he's like,
they're
"These are
like,
children.
yeah.
They have like children things they're trying to do still. We can't put the pressures of the world upon them." And then that little like, what is he, mouse or something? Is just yelling at him with
Yeah.
a microphone. It's so annoying.
I do want to find out how like weird it is because it's like, of course there's like this underlying like, implication throughout the series that it's like, oh yeah, the carnivores are the ones in power. They're like, stand-ins for like wealth and like authority and all that, and they're like, like they're the ones at like the top of society in all these ways. They're like the ones everyone looks up to, the beacons of like, like hope and all this stuff. And you see the like hearing about the Beastars, and it is like way the fuck more diverse than you would expect it to be.
Yeah, there's like, I would almost say it's like the Senate with having half and half divided by like.
Yeah, like I get that's there to like showcase the tensions, but I don't know, it feels like kind of like shoots the metaphor in the foot a little bit, doesn't it?
It really
Kind
does
kind
throw
of weakens it, I
it
think.
throws your metaphor under the bus because, like, I guess carnivores aren't all just in power because clearly herbivores have a voice in the government.
Yeah. Although let's be real, that's the not the only like form of systemic power.
Well, still.
But yeah, it's most little things where it's like, huh, yeah, it probably would have been really nice if they like, just had the herbivores be more of like a minority in like the Senate by like a notable amount, and maybe if
Yeah.
someone like call it out or something. Like,
If
yeah,
they
let's
even
shit
had
get
like
personal, have fun with
when the
it.
split screen showed up, or like you could see that it was like there's 4 carnivores and 2 herbivores or something. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that where it's like, oh yeah, like the opposition is strong, but it's like, like, yeah, there's a notable like imbalance here, and people are like recognizing that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so we get that whole scene where we finally figure out the, I guess, government structure. I was going to complain about why there's about what we just complained about, but that's already done. So,
Yeah.
uh, the next thing I was going to bring up is that the snake is the security guard, and I thought at first was horny for Legoshi,
Yes.
but
Can.
she's also got limb envy.
Yeah.
She's like, I love your limbs.
It took me way too long to process what the fuck you just said.
What, limb?
Limb envy.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Best Girl for a second?
About the giant snake woman?
Can we talk about the giant snake security lady in the room?
6 eyes?
This I fucking love this shot because it's like, of course it's like everything's like proportioned to make Lugosi look small, but it makes
Yeah.
like all the doors and shit in the background look massive.
Yeah.
It's like not only is the snake giant, like Lugosi looks like he's like an action figure.
What doesn't make sense to me is that, like, rattlesnakes are small, right? And this
Right?
is supposed to be a rattlesnake. If it was like a python, I'd be like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But this is just like, for no reason, it's just a really big rattlesnake. And I was like, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, there is a reason, and the reason is because it's really fun.
Well, yeah, but it's like, you know how they have small animals and big animals? I'm like, this animal's very inaccurate.
Yeah. Listen, we're like going into alpha omega territory bullshit with like wolf behavior. Like we're going into folklore for rabbits, you know? Like this we're not like doing hard one-to-one biology here.
Yeah, I know. I could obviously tell that, but like, there's like a line that they drew, and this character being this large was like, they were like, no, fuck the line. I don't even care anymore.
Counterpoint, it is really cool.
Yeah, but it would have made more sense as like a bigger snake
Yeah.
species. But they
Yeah, but
needed
then
to
they
have
can't
that
do the
rattle
rattle.
for the, yeah, that was, but it's like, whatever.
Yeah, it's like here's the like this is the thing. It's like, oh, you make the argument and you're kind of right, but it's also like, yeah, but it's fun.
Yeah, but then why is, like, they're hamsters?
Yeah,
Why are
because it's
hamsters
fun.
just giant? But it
I
makes
mean,
no
a giant
sense.
hamster would be really funny.
But it makes no sense.
I would be cool with Lugosi randomly running into like a giant fuck off gerbil, and he's just like, "Oh, whoa, that's crazy," and they're like, "Yeah, I guess that's got good genetics." Nim numble numble numble.
And he's just like, I'm really big. Hello.
Yeah, I'm
My
really big.
It's just like, my name's Frank.
Yeah. He's just got like a giant fucking hamster. That's how they get their power. It's just a bunch of giant hamsters on wheels.
Got a giant hamster. That's
Their
that's how the
world
power
is
grid
powered
works.
by like slave labor, technically.
Hold
It's
on, I
just
gotta take me a
giant
smoke break.
gerbils.
Gotta
Like-
take me a smoke break. This gerbil gets off the fucking wheel and he like pulls out a carrot and lights it up.
Oh, I was thinking he just like gets off the wheel, looks over. There's just one of those giant marbles that they could just like look at.
Yeah.
Just
Right,
stops,
right.
looks over, like everyone in the room's terrified.
Yeah, this is 6 eyes once, because there's this really weird scene where she wants him to chase her.
Yeah, so they'd have like a fun little chase scene.
Yeah, so there's this chase scene across the school up to where like wherever Tim was killed, right?
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Yo, I want you to like find the killer because you're
Yeah,
super
I need to
special."
take you to like where the memorial is specifically for the visual aid.
Yes,
Like not specifically where he died in front of the projector, where we put the memorial.
yeah, where we put the memorial, which by the way is like busted open and everything.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a good bit.
I was like, why did we like come all the way over here? I wonder if death has a metaphor for this.
Here's the fun part. I don't. It's
Yeah.
just because so they can put the thing and be like, "Hey, remember this?" And Lugosi can be like, "Oh right, that."
That's what I thought. I was like, is this just a remember this moment?
It's just so they can like justify just the like this whole thing.
Yeah, they
And
open
just
on it in the first episode.
because she could just run away and just say nothing and they could end up there, or she could be like lampshit and be like, oh yeah, chase me, let's go, I want to show you this to you.
Yeah, and then Lugosi goes on the hunt.
Yeah. They're like, listen, Lugosi, you gotta track down Tim's killer. It's been 6 months and I've got nothing. You're the best shot we got because you are a wolf, and I can tell you genuinely like have good senses and care about people. And
Yeah.
Lugosi's just like, okay, well, do you have any leads? Are there any clues? And the snake's
Yeah, I
like,
love
yeah, I
it.
got jack shit.
He's like, I mean, like, I have leads, but if I was to tell you, it would skew your views, so, like, I'm not
Yeah.
doing that. And I was like, I mean, that makes sense, but, like, a direction or, like, just a tiny hint would be
Yeah,
nice.
like a list of suspects. Like,
Like, not, like, I guess she does, doesn't she? Because she's like, it has to be a carnivore, and most likely. And
yeah, and she's like, the clue is within you, and it's like,
no,
yeah,
she
because
says
you
that
could sniff them
later.
out or something.
She says that later, but I think she also mentions that it's like the drama club that she's like suspecting because Tem was in that and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah. They is like directly implied that the killer is probably someone in the drama club.
Yes.
So, we get a nice shot. We get a nice shot of the drama club. And Louis, like, Lugosi is specifically like, okay, any one of these guys could be the killer, because these are the drama club carnivores. So it's like, hey, pick your suspect.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think he's Bill or the bear.
Okay. Do you have a
Because
specific reason?
well, literally because I feel like they remind this has to do with another episode like a little later. I think
Right.
it's literally episode 6. They bring this up again about that. It's like, there's a it's got to be one of the carnivores in the class, and then immediately cut to Bill being unable to pick something up, and the bear does it immediately, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. To be fair, it's like, okay, we have exactly 2 hints right now. Technically 3, because it's like, all right, we know it's someone who's probably pretty strong,
Yeah, because
because they
we'll get
do
to that.
overpower Lugosi fairly
We'll get
easily,
to that. That's in a minute in this episode
and we
because
know they're
first off,
probably someone in the drama club.
he
And Lugosi talks to Juno, and he's like, "Hey, show me your teeth."
that's later. We'll get to that.
So we imply that it's probably not a girl, because women have like differently sized canines.
Well, this is also where you find out that like each species, because he goes to talk to Tem's friend, right?
Yeah.
And you find out because earlier they went to a moon room with Juno or something.
Yeah.
And then you find out that the alpacas have a room that's just like grasslands and shit. And it's like, so each species has its own like chill room.
I
That's
will
awesome.
I'll point out, I guess technically we do have one other hint, like a fourth hint.
It would be
Because
the
looking at this
silhouette.
lineup, it's like, okay, we do like imply that they do have teeth. Like Lugosi like is like, okay, well, I just felt their mouth. I made out with the killer.
Well, I'm gonna give you a hard doubt that it's the eagle because it doesn't have teeth.
Yeah, Alba's a cool guy, and I feel like if it was
Still
them,
needs
Lugosi would be like, oh, it's a beak, of course, obviously.
still needs an American flag shirt.
So I feel like already we could rule out like a lot of people in this
Yeah,
exact shot.
I'm like literally there's only 2 people in this shot that it could be.
Yeah.
Because I ain't seen these two little marmosets fighting Lugosi, and the bird's just a chill bro.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about you, bear, and Bill's just an asshole. But he's like our
Bill's a
asshole.
fucking asshole, and I kind of love him.
But he's like our asshole.
Yeah, he's that Bill is that guy you know in school that's a complete fucking prick and everyone knows it, but they're also like actually sociable. And it's like the second you're on good terms with them, they're like, "Ah, come on, man. Yeah, let me help you with your shit."
Yeah.
And it's like, "Oh, I guess you can be a normal person after all." Like
And
he's
then,
just throws his way around all ego, all
yeah,
aggro, and then you just actually hang out with him. And it's like, I guess you can be a cool guy actually, but you're still you're still a dick. You're still
still
like
a
not okay.
real asshole. But like, he's all right.
Yeah.
um,
The fact that we've gone from you're doping with rabbit blood to you're all right is crazy.
yeah. Well, I mean, he's still a fucking douchebag, but he's all right.
Yeah, and honestly, like, yeah, that's really is Bill's biggest crime. Is just like, oh, he is a douchebag. He is like bloodthirsty and will consensually pay to eat meat, to eat people's fingers, which is pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
And when like Lugosi, I keep on saying Lewis, when Lugosi steps out of line and fucks him over in the play, he does go pretty friggin' hard. He
Yeah.
goes pretty hard into playing the bad guy.
And I'm just gonna point out we don't know anything about this bear, so
This bear is a completed. This bear could be fucking anything.
he's he like doesn't even like he has like 3 lines this season.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's gonna be the bear.
Is it?
I don't know, just because it's good. I was like, it needs to be like stupid.
It needs to be the dumbest possible option. No, it's gonna be like Kai or something. Remember Kai?
No,
He's the little, like, the fucking weasel guy.
isn't that him right down there?
Yeah, yeah, Kai from the drama
Yeah,
club.
I have a hard feeling that it's not him.
Yeah, it's probably not Kai, even though he did have that temper on. Ooh, watch
If
out, maybe it is him.
yeah, last I checked, the silhouette in the very next scene, which this is when he goes and he fights a boxing kangaroo, and he takes
Yeah.
them out. But he's also like chilling at night, and then is this when this happens, or is it in the next episode? I think.
It don't really matter. It's like whatever.
Anyways, but he gets attacked by the dude, and you just see his silhouette. He's taller than him.
Yeah.
He's taller than Lagos. He also smashes his fucking head into a wall.
Oh yeah. Like we
Yeah,
see the shadow of the killer because Lugosi's like going around causing problems. He's like going around sniffing them out, and they're like, okay, he's on my tail, he's asking questions. I'd actually like, do some shit and stand
yeah.
up
Hold on,
against him and like
I got
shut him
that. Yeah,
down. Like,
that's
yeah, the killer's like, I had to intimidate him into like calling off the search, I had to scare him
that's
away from it.
yeah. That's at the beginning of episode 4 when he fights that guy. Because
Yes.
what actually happens after he fights the kangaroo, is we cut back to the Shishigumi, and they still exist. I thought they were all dead, but
I
it
do
turns
want to
out that
point out for a second that fight with the kangaroo is freaking awesome.
yeah, it was yo. The ghost took him out in like a second.
Yeah, but it's like the animation on that. It's like the camera's like going around them, and it looks so good. It's
It's
such a
pretty
good
good.
action scene.
I think they said that he was like doping too or something later on.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, this is where we find out that Lewis is a mob boss.
Yes, and I love this fucking reveal too. Because it's like, oh, you see Shishigumi try to, like, negotiate with someone, and they're like, oh, we're not talking with you, you fucking idiot cats. And they're like, oh, don't worry, we've changed our tone, you see. We're under new management now. And they're like, oh, really? And you just hear a voice, and you see bits of him as he
Yes,
walks
yeah,
up.
yeah.
And he's
Uh,
like, yeah, so come on. Let's join together under the new Shishigumi for a world with, like, justice and equality for all. It's like, oh yeah.
uh, I literally put Lewis is a mob boss question marks. It takes Giorno a whole series. Lewis did in one episode.
Yeah, Lewis became a mob boss fucking off screen. And it's like,
Yeah.
how did that happen? And it's like, oh, that's how.
It literally happened off screen in 1 minute, and it took Giorno like an entire trip across Italy. Fucking get your numbers up, Giorno.
Yeah. It is really fun that like it just happens and it's like, wait, what? And you like see the flashback for like how that actually went down.
Yeah. This is at the end of that episode is when he's talking, is when he finishes talking, and I was like, well, he's not selling me on being a better character. He just does things even if it makes no sense. How does this, you know what? Maybe moral makes more sense.
Honestly, it does make sense later on. It's just like, holy crap. Yeah, this is just always there. This was always in him.
And then episode 3, start back on the drama club. Bill's still being a dick.
I do want to get to the Lewis thing while we're on this topic, right?
What? What Lewis thing? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
because
literally
last time we
comes
saw
up.
Lewis, last time we saw him, he just killed the Shishigumi's boss, and
Yeah.
like the others just look at him, just spray this guy's brain out the window with a fucking gun, and he gives this whole speech, and he's like, "Oh, I'm number 4. If you eat me, choose to use every part, but spare the horns."
Yeah,
And he
I
like
love that
points
you
the
remember
gun
that.
at them. Furry, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
It is furry porn. Well, if you give me a second, that's actually like entirely what the next episode's about.
Yes.
Is about Lewis. But we also meet fake Lewis, which is
Right.
the goat that shows up, or the sheep, whatever.
All right, I'll get to how that goes down later, because holy shit,
It's literally next, but I just wanted to bring up fake Lewis for
fucking
a second.
just season 1. I fucking love season 1.
Yes, this is Beastars.
Beastars is great. I love it. This is Beastars season 2.
Season 2. This is just fake Lewis.
I love season 1. It's like it's got some stuff going on. It's got some weird stuff, but it's like season 1's great. It's one of my favorite shows. It's like super personal to me. Season 2 makes some weird friggin' decisions because
Season
Lewis
2
just
is odd.
leaves, and the show is like, oh. Well, we don't have a, like, snobbish asshole pretty boy in the school anymore. We need to get another one of those.
Yeah.
So while Lewis is busy being a fucking mob boss, we get fake Lewis just showing up to be like, I'm the new asshole pretty boy, and I'm going to hit on all the girls, so I'm different. Oh, but that gives me more room to a romantic tension with the male lead. And Lugosi's just like, I hate everything about you.
I wasn't a big fan of him either. And he shows up like a lot more as the episodes go on, and I've got things I wasn't too pleased with. Like, I think most of the time well, like, I'll get to it, but a lot of it was just what I wrote last season for Lewis.
Oh man, that's super fair, Kosetsu, but yeah, I appreciate it.
Because he's just fake Lewis.
Yeah, see you around. If you all like know what we're talking about more, the VODs are on YouTube for more content.
But we'll go back to Lewis for a second, so we can talk
We
about his.
established that Pina exists, and then
I
he's
didn't even know his
immediately
name yet.
like, "Oh, but yeah."
Yeah, I just needed because he shows up, and I was so fucking livid with this guy. He's like fake Lewis, and I was like, if he actually ends up being just Lewis in like an outfit, I'm gonna fucking shit
Pina
bricks.
wishes he was Lewis. Pina wishes he was that good.
Fucking pita bread over here.
Yeah.
And then it switches to Lewis's backstory.
Can you believe this series was written by a woman?
Yeah.
Just the fact that they brought in like a second fucking like herbivore pretty boy to have
Yeah.
like tension
Don't
with the male lead that's
uh
totally not gay at all.
it was very gay. It was very gay.
Listen, I'm not saying anything specific. I'm just saying there is a fair chance the mangaka probably wanted these two to kiss. And she tried it and she just didn't feel it and he just kind of goes away.
Well, all right.
I don't know, would you want them to kiss?
No, I hate him. I actually ended up hating him more than Lewis.
Yeah, I'm not really feeling Pina either.
But
Lewis
we get
absolutely, but Pina no.
Lewis's backstory or what he was fucking doing, and
Yeah.
I was ready to just kind of lose it. Like he gets the fucking job just handed to him is so bullshit.
Yeah, it's like he kills their boss, and they're like, "Well, that's the boss down. Fuck, what now? Crap. Who's ever gave out like a power grabber?" And Lewis is just like, "I'm right here with a gun, you idiots."
Yeah, and then
And
right
they're
hand
like,
man there.
"Huh."
That'd be
They're
his
like,
right hand
wait,
dude.
hey, hang on, this guy's like actually got some like name recognition to him. He's like
He's the
this.
future of the fucking high school or whatever.
Yeah, his dad's really rich and powerful, so he might have access to money, and that'd give him a lot of like influence. And he's also like a big name at the school, which means he has a lot of like, a lot of fame. He's like, good with like the young crowd. He's appealing to that demographic. He's good public speaking. He's like, da da. And they're like, oh, you know what? Maybe it's actually isn't that bad idea after all. Huh, maybe. And I get the impression was that first they were like, yeah, we just have this guy as like a puppet leader. And like they just kind of thought over and they're like, hang on, no, this actually kind of like makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like as I watched it, it kind of made more sense.
Yeah.
And like, especially this guy over here is right hand man or whatever.
Yeah, the got the glasses. I forget
Yeah,
what his name is, but they're all like different names.
I can't remember. I'm gonna just call him right hand man for right now.
Yeah,
Um,
Beastars, Glasses, Lion, Ibuki, that's his name. Fucking Ibuki.
hmm.
Yeah. Never forget Ibuki. He's literally in the ED, which you should be watching every episode.
But this is, I think, this is where like one of the main things for him to join up shows up, right?
Yeah.
Where he has to eat meat.
Yeah, because they like offer him the position. At first, Lewis is like, "You're crazy. I'd rather die," and they like knock him out. While he's like pointing the gun at himself.
Yeah,
And then he like wakes up and he's like, "Oh, what's going on?" They're like, "Oh, actually, we like put this shit to a vote and we talked out." And it's like, "Yeah, no, yeah, we're actually pretty cool with this." Like, hey, you won. You won the vote.
yeah, dude's like, you won the lion's share of the vote. That means that you win. You're the new boss.
Yeah, you're the new boss, but only if you can like, like eat
Eat
meat.
this
Because
meat.
hey, how much of a carnivore are you, right?
It's some orangutan that betrayed them previously or whatever.
Yeah,
Did
it's
we did we
like
meet? I don't think we ever met that guy.
no, it's like some
Unfortunately.
off-screen character. They're literally specifically like, "Don't worry, it's not cannibalism."
This is where I kind of like. I was like, I have to go back and retake my and take back my statement of just handed to him because it wasn't really just handed to him. Kind of was.
Yeah,
Like it
kind
kind of
of. But
was,
yeah, they thought over and they came to a
but
collective decision.
like it was totally just kind of like randomly handed to him because like he was there.
Yeah.
But
And Buki
also,
was like, "This is a really good idea, guys," and they're like, "Ah, no," and they like talked over, and they're like, "Yeah, actually, man, this is a pretty good idea."
they were like, well, to hang with the cool kids, you got to do drugs like the cool kids, right?
Yeah, you gotta go through initiation, you know? It's like, hey, we're fine with this, but we gotta know that you've got the determination to be fine with this.
Exactly.
Because if you're just gonna, like, just
Put that
like
on us like
fucking
a little
bolt on
herbivore.
us, then, hey, we gotta make sure you're, like, committed.
Yeah.
So go, eat your meat, you fucking deer. And then,
Which
like,
I
yeah,
I looked up actually. There is like deer can eat meat.
that's
It's not.
crazy.
It's not impossible. It's very rare when like food is scarce, but it's not impossible.
Will it be possible for a deer to hunt me
Why would it do that?
for my meat?
It doesn't. No, it doesn't hunt things. It would be like a scavenger, really.
But what if it just ran up and it just knocked me over and it was just like yeah yeah yeah.
Well, then you probably have lots of broken bones. Those, like,
I that's the sound of like biting.
yeah, I know they can rip bark off of trees. You don't think that they can like break your bones?
Oh yeah, I'm just like yeah, are they gonna like rip my meat off my bike? Cause they probably could.
Well, yeah, but I don't know why he would unless he's like a zombie deer.
I don't know where I'm going with this hypothetical, but it's going somewhere.
I just wanted to bring up a cool deer fact, and then you went into a
Okay.
really weird hypothetical about a
Okay,
deer eating
Phustus, hear
you.
me out. Okay, well, what if the deer was trying to eat me and the deer was you?
I'm leaving. I'm leaving. That's it. I'm done.
Phustus? But
Bye.
what if it was like romantically, like a Beastars?
Shut up.
You have no idea how much I love fucking with you sometimes. I'm like, I just push this one step further and it'd be amazing. Oh man, but yeah, it's
Right.
but yeah, Lewis gets everything he kind of ever wanted. He gets the power and intimidation he's always dreamed of, and he gets to like fully embody the role of a carnivore, and he gets to like,
Yeah.
like he shed his roots, he's like escaped his nature, and he's like become something else. And it's like, despite everything, he's fucking suffering through hell, and this is his own personal, like, hell. Like, this is
And
his
then
own personal punishment for, like, trying to, like, become a carnivore, essentially.
yeah.
Because he's like Lugosi is forced to like brush against the biological reality that like he'll never really be able to like be with Haru without like dealing with his instincts. Like Lewis is forced to face his own reality of like his own instincts, which are telling him to throw up and slowly killing him. Well, less his instincts, more his biology, but yeah, they basically it's a really fun, really nice reversal of roles, and I love it a lot.
It's interesting, definitely.
Yeah, it's so not it's so neat, it's so cool. It's
It's
like,
definitely a juxtaposition between the two, but like,
I'm gonna be real, the Lewis arc is my favorite part of this season, and you go back to Lugosi, and like, he stops hanging out with Haru because he wants to focus on
yeah,
the killer, and because
I
of
literally
that,
wrote
like,
this.
the main
Oh God.
thrust, the main pull of interest to his character just like fucking disappears overnight. And it's
Yeah, I
like,
said 3 episodes and they already break up. This is fucking stupid. But very
yeah.
teenager.
So it's like Lewis is the most interesting crap ever, and he's like, yo, you wanna see more of this like mature world of like, the mafia and this like nightlife and everything inside like, the black market, and you wanna see more of like this story, and then it's like hard cut back to Lugosi, and he's just kind of like spinning his wheels trying to find the killer.
Yeah. I was actually really pissed that he was like, maybe we shouldn't hang out with each other. This isn't gonna work. I was like, you fucking loser.
Dude, she won your fucking wolf cock. No, stay with her, you idiot. And
Fucking dum
And
dum.
Lugosi's just like, yeah, but what if we got married, haha? And
Yeah,
Haru's like, stop fucking teasing me. I want to say yes. You're crazy.
that's funny. But I think episode 3 ends with Lugosi sitting by a tree, and then Shadow Man from Danganronpa attacks him.
Yeah, because he's like asking out the drawing club and stuff, and then Shadow Man attacks, and Lugosi's just like, oh shit, it's the killer. And they literally like knock him out and like tie him up and like blindfold him, and they're just beating the shit out of him to try and like just scare him away from like the investigation.
And so, what does Lugosi do? In a quick thought of how smart he could be, he makes out with the killer.
Yeah, like it's like animalistic. At the time, it's like, oh, he's like biting at their mouth and shit. But it's like they
I
do
know.
specifically go out of their way to be like, oh yeah, it's two guys just kissed. It was gay. Two guys
Uh,
kissed. You can't take it back. It happened.
it was just two dudes making out with each other, and they were like, "Yeah, that just happened." Lugosi for like the next couple episodes is just like, "That was not my proudest moment." That's so
Lugosi's
funny.
literally is to just sit there and be like, listen, I'm not gay, but
But I did really like his mouth.
I have to remember that moment for the rest of my life, because you have to understand how not gay I am because I need to solve the
Yes.
mystery.
I
And this is,
remembered
yeah.
every contour of his mouth. Not because I liked it or anything, but just
Not because
because
I
like
wanted to, but because I had to,
Baka.
of course.
Yeah. Not because I like you or anything, Baka.
Yeah, of course, obviously. As you should. As it should be.
Yeah, I
Uh
literally put that. Did Lugosi just make out with the killer? Lol, what the fuck? And then he
shh.
leaves, and then he tells Jack that he's leaving.
Yeah.
And then Jack cries, and I was like, yo, why you guys do my boy like that?
Oh man.
Um,
Just
before we. Oh, go on.
just strip like, oh hey Juno, yeah, open your mouth.
Yeah, that's when he comes back to school, which next is when he actually like meets the Pandaren guy
Yeah,
again.
this section, this decision bugs the fuck out of me, because
Hey, yeah, I
Lugosi's
wrote that. You
like,
want to talk about that? We can talk about that. I got something here.
Lugosi is like, okay, hey, it's not safe at school. The fucking murderer tried to kill me, and they almost succeeded. Jack saves him because he's just a really good boy, and Lugosi's just like, yeah, this place is not okay. I am going to die if I stay here. I need to like go and move in with Gohim in the black market. and he has this really
Yeah.
heartfelt farewell with Jack, and then Goheen is just immediately like, "The fuck are you doing, kid? Go back to school."
Yeah. And then he starts training, or well, doesn't really start training because the dude keeps telling him no.
Goheen's
But
like, "Go back to school, you fucking idiot," and Lugosi's like, "Okay, fine," and he just goes back to school immediately. And it's like, why did you like? Why did you even have that moment where you're
yeah,
like, "I gotta leave forever"? If
he
you're
doesn't
just
go back to
gonna
school immediately because what happens is Gohim's like, "Yo, if you're into this, then we have to do something first." And
and
then he
then he
pulls out a
straps
sickle.
Lugosi down to the sex chair.
And then he pulls out a sickle and it cuts to black, and we find out a little bit later
He's
that he just fucking cut off all of his fur.
I
Yeah, the
I
sex chair.
yeah, I can't say enough how much this is just a fucking this is a Family Guy bit. This is a fucking sex chair.
Yeah. Which it goes from sex chair to strip club.
Yeah. Cause don't we just like immediately then
We
go to the
immediately
fucking
go to her being like, "So this is how I die," and then it cuts to like back before that happens, right?
Hey, did you ever watch a furry show where like have you ever been watching fucking Zootopia? And you're like, yeah, but what if we saw a fucking animal strip club?
I just wrote this is softcore furry porn because she takes all of her clothes off.
Oh yeah, like ironically, she just straight up gets naked, and it's like you don't see anything, but she is just full on.
Yeah, it's why it's softcore furry porn.
Yeah, oh yeah. And it's like
Also,
like all
yeah,
furry porn, it ends with her being saved by a pretty boy who will protect you, who also wants you and will give you money and sex.
yes.
Presumably.
Also,
As from what we've seen so
yeah,
far at least, maybe.
yeah, he just kind of shows up and like it like stops her from being eaten,
Yeah, Lewis
and
fucking
then
saves her, and he unfortunately probably will not get the sex. But like that, tell me that's not like what this feels like.
I mean a little bit.
It's very much like, oh, the fucking the cool pretty boy is here to save you from the monsters, and look how
I
cool and hot he is. Don't
I
you
wrote
want
it.
him?
Yeah, I think it's like near the beginning of episode 6. But they meet up again, and I was like, oh, that's cute, but it's never gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah, they like become
Um,
friends.
yeah, and then he gets a haircut, and it looks awful, but
I wish I got a shot of like White Lugosi, but none of the scenes really
oh,
felt right.
there's also I just need to point out in the dub, right?
Yeah.
That when we cut back after this scene, we're back at Lewis eating meat with the other lions, and
Right.
he says, "When in Rome, do as the Romans do." And I said, "Rome exists. Proof."
Yes. Does okay, I want to ask a very serious question, okay? Does this
Yes.
imply that there was an animal person coliseum where they would feed herbivores to literal lion people?
Yes. That's what I was assuming.
That
Like I was
sounds
guessing
fucking awesome. Those
like
gladiatorial games would be like
I was
crazy.
I was guessing, like Romulus and Remus, the guys who made Rome,
Yeah.
the two brothers who were said to be raised by wolves, like they were probably just actually wolves.
Okay, hear me out. What if they're like sheeps or something,
Raised
but
by
they were
wolves.
raised by like wolf people?
Maybe.
They're raised by like the wolf tribe out in the wilds away from society, and that's like their origin story.
Rome exists, and that's really weird to me. Um, yeah, that was the end of that episode, I think.
Do you
Nothing really
think
interesting.
like Julius Caesar would be like a lion?
I mean, like, maybe.
We'd be a lion, or we'd be like an ox or something. Cause
I feel like
I
he
feel
would
like
be a
Lion
hawk.
Caesar makes a lot of sense somehow.
I feel like he would be a hawk.
Ooh, maybe. Like a big fat bird, and then all the and then all the herbivores stab him.
Yes.
God, there's so much interesting shit you could do with this thing. Holy crap.
Yeah, I really didn't write much for episode 5 because, like, oh, right, this is the biggest change in episode 5 for me. Because Juno shows up and starts talking to him, and he's
Yeah.
not an asshole.
Oh shit.
I actually wrote that down. I was like, Lewis is being less of a douche. Also, his right hand man is loyal as fuck.
Right?
Because they're like, oh, we're only using this kid for until like he's useless, and then we'll eat him. And then the like main hand guy is like, I'll kick your ass.
Yeah, like they're like, hey, we can just use this guy as like a puppet leader, and then hey, when he falls out of favor, and Buki's like, yeah, but he's like the boss now. We gotta actually like take care of him. Come on, show some respect.
Yeah, and
put
then
put some respect on that deer's name.
we see some of Legoshi's actual training. So he's sitting there, and there's meat in front of him, and he's trying to resist it. So he's fighting his
Yeah.
instincts.
We have
And
to give Lugosi his like shonen like training to suppress his instincts.
he says he's gonna attain a level yet unattained, and I was like, "What is he going Super Saiyan?"
Dude, by the end of this series, Lugosi might ironically go Super Saiyan.
And then closer to the end, this is where the sheep guy like hits on Legoshi. Super
Yeah,
gay.
PETA just hits on Lugosi, and he's just got like fucking bruises on his face, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this is where I like cheated on a girl, and then she like fucking slapped the shit out of me." And Lugosi's like, "Yeah, deserved, idiot."
Before we get on to like the last episode and our thoughts on the first half of the season, I gotta run downstairs.
Do we all like just fish things up kind of quick,
I
or?
mean, yeah, no, we can keep going if I haven't gotten a text message yet, so. But yeah, anyways.
Yeah.
So if you want to keep going, I'll wait until I get a message.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm like, look at this. I feel like I have as much to say about this because it's like I've already
I
talked about
didn't
the
have
memes and the symbolism, and like, ooh,
I
there's
didn't
one interesting thing I hadn't talked about. Sorry, go ahead.
I really didn't have much to say about this episode either, like this season really. I mean, it was all right, and
I like it. I'm still into it. It just kind of flies by, you know.
like there really wasn't like there was character development, but like no real plot development.
There is that interesting scene where it's like, like they're talking with the carnivores and they're like, oh, well, sure you into Lugosi, I heard you like, you slept with that rabbit. And
Right.
he's like, I will never forget that as long as I live. And they're like,
I
yeah,
shall
nothing
always be a
happened.
virgin.
You fucking virgin. And then like Lugosi is actually talking to other carnivores about his problems for once, and like describing like how he feels about Haru, and Albus says something really fucking weird. Cause he's like, oh yeah, it sounds like that's less love and it's more like a religious devotion. It sounds like you're
Yeah.
treating this as like a religion,
Yeah, he did say that.
And
And then like
Lugosi's just sitting there like, fuck, is he right? Is this a... I'm like, there's so
isn't
many ways to interpret what that means.
isn't that around the time that he's like, "Oh, I shouldn't like see you anymore," right?
Yeah, like it feels like Lugosi starts to realize that his feelings are like less romantic and more like ideological, right? Like, it's less that he's, like, attracted to Haru for Haru, and more that he's into her for what she, like, represents, it feels like. which
Yeah.
is, his like ability to like, first of all, like put himself in a horrible fucking guilt spiral, but also like ultimately like overcome his instincts and like prove that carnivores and herbivores can like coexist. And once he starts to find an outlet that he can do that without her, he starts actively trying to pour all of himself into that instead of her,
Hmm.
even though his feelings might still be like, real and valid.
Which I
And
do want
it's
to.
such a weird, interesting, yeah.
It is a weird like, but it's very like
I
um the high school drama.
Yeah, it's like it's one of those weird decisions where it's like I think like for me personally, I feel like it gets in the way of what I was like seeing in the series before, right? Like it feels like kind of like, like I want this more to just be like, okay, well, can a wolf love a rabbit? Like is the nature of true love something that's like wired within you, or is it something that like, comes from like something else, something deeper? And it's like that question was really interesting and really compelling. And now it feels like we're kind of like pushing past that to get to the other meaning of like, okay, well, can like carnivores and herbivores like exist and like coexist together on like a wider social level? And it's like it's not as compelling because it doesn't feel as like specific and personal, right?
Yeah.
That's how I
I mean,
feel, at least. Yeah.
I get it, and I feel like there's something there that's missing, and I keep waiting. I'm gonna keep waiting to see if it gets a little bit better by the 12th episode.
it's
But
it's like
like,
that spark of like on one hand like oh like this is an interesting question that's like very like thematic, has a lot like to say about like all kinds of different things as an allegory, but it's also got that bit of like that like shoujo otome like sort of like wish fulfillment aspect to it as well. And it's like it's kind of got like that danger to it. It's like, okay, is this something that Lugosi can control, or is this something that's gonna like ultimately like drive a wedge between them? And it's like the thing that's drawing a wedge between them isn't like the threat or the danger. It's like Lugosi himself
yeah, it's
trying to
Lugosi
like
doing is
turn this into something else.
where I would say like the last episode is about them overcoming themselves. This one is just about Lugosi trying like not being an asshole because he's not really an asshole, but he's like thinking about things too much, you know?
Yeah, Lugosi becomes like really, really weird and introspective, and he's pushing himself too far, and he's like putting all this stuff on himself, and it's like Lugosi's like almost trying to like make himself a martyr for the sins of like all the carnivores around him. And he's trying to become like, like he's trying to become like almost like Zen, like he's becoming like a monk or something. He's
Yeah,
becoming
because
completely like enlightened about it.
he literally like sits there and like the meat doesn't bother him anymore. He's got a whole little like graveyard of
Yeah.
people that were eaten previously.
And it's like
I made the joke he beat the meat.
yeah, it's like the angst is fading away when the angst is what made this whole dynamic feel human, I think is a good way to put it.
It's a little weird how Lugosi's like losing his character.
Yeah. You took my fucking doggo Hope's Bondo away from me. I'll never forgive you.
But they did do a lot at this episode. Your buddy Lewis. Because this is the one where he points his gun at his dad.
Oh yeah, Lewis points his gun at his dad, and his dad still like wins the conversation, and Lewis
Yeah,
walks away with what he wants, feeling defeated, because his dad's just like, if you kill me, then I'm just gonna be a martyr for like herbivores, and it's not
yeah.
gonna get you anything, but I'll still sign the paper. And Lewis is just like that fucking, and he's like, yeah, just come back when you have the resolve to actually use that fucking gun. And he's like, you bastard.
You fucker.
How did you win that one? I'm so armed. How did you win that one?
Yeah, how did this get flipped? Like he threw an Uno reverse card at Lewis.
Yeah.
Lewis was like, "What if I killed you? I'm super powerful now." And then he was just like, "No, you."
All the power in the world won't save you from like being in a bad position, because you ultimately need something from him, and he doesn't need jack shit from you.
Yeah, he's just like, "Lol, no."
You've evaluated your options and you've calculated incorrectly, my man.
Ah, good try, my son, but next time, do a
Next
little
time.
better. Do a little better, bitch.
So, yeah, like, do we want to keep going with the show? Did all 6 episodes land?
I wouldn't say all six of them land. Like, if I was to give it probably like 4, maybe 5 out of 6 episodes this season. One episode was very unforgettable. Can't remember which
Yeah.
one it is. Probably episode 5 because like I didn't write that much about it, but I I'm interested in seeing surprisingly, and this one's for all you guys who love Lewis. I I don't hate Lewis this season.
Oh shit. Oh shit. What moved you over?
I think it was at first it was his conversation with Juno,
Right.
and then it was also just kind of like I don't know his conversation with his dad was pretty jokes. He wasn't so like it was good to see like
Yeah.
someone out pretentious him.
Yeah, like Lewis is finally like getting his comeuppance, and he's being put in his place every now and then.
Yeah, I he's not getting everything kind of handed to him,
Yeah, he's having to actually like struggle for shit more now.
and it made me kind of like sympathize with the character a bit more.
Yeah,
He's
I
not like rubbing his nose in everybody's face all the time, and if he is, it's for a good reason. So
yeah, I feel like that's the big it's like this whole arc with Lewis is like, all right, season 1 we built up Lewis as like this, this like this
piece of
perfect
shit.
thing to aspire to be, this like, height of like, like just ego and everything but deserved. But it's like they're just like little moments where it's like, all right, you saw the cracks and you saw like the insecurity in there, and this is like, okay, we're like pushing that further. And it's like Lewis is in a world where he is not the top of the food chain anymore, like literally, and he is like out of his debt and spiraling, kind of.
Like,
Like
don't get me
he's
wrong, he still has some of
yeah,
these pretentious moments,
yeah, but it's like he's also like, he's
but
like
they've
struggling and he can't.
humanized him a bit more,
Yeah, he's
uh,
like too
for lack
arrogant
of
to
better
like
words.
eat the like, the herbivore food in front of the lions, and he's like,
Even though that one lion bro's like on his side.
yeah, like he calls Lewis like a spoiled brat, basically.
Yeah.
Cause like Lewis can't put his ego aside and like show that weakness in front of people, and he's like, he's like hurting because of it.
He's like, stop being such a little brat. We got
Like
things to
he's
do.
Yeah,
Oh,
Lewis is
there's the red
basically like wasting away in this world where he can barely survive. And like the second that Gazelle girl like gives him the fucking like, the veggie juice, he just like downs almost the entire glass in one go because he's just so hungry.
Yeah. You know what? At first I was like 100% pure veggie juice. That's supposed to be like an alcoholic beverage in this world, I guess. But
I
also, it's probably
Yeah.
just like veggie juice.
Honestly, I call it veggie juice because it's green, but it might just be like a protein shake type of thing, you know?
I
Because
think
I
that's kind
think,
of what it
yeah, I
is.
think in like the next scene we see Juno drink it, and I feel like that might be like intentional.
Yeah,
Because we see her drink something
that's
that
what.
looks like it.
Yeah, and that's when w- he stares at her mouth like a fucking freak.
That's when Lugosi's just like, oh, hey, I'm doing research on carnivore jaws. Show me your teeth. And she's like, you can't toy with a girl's heart like this. And he's like, yeah, but show me her mouth, though. She's like,
I
do.
Yeah, literally. I was like, it's why are you so poor Juno, man? Like, ouch, that hurts. And then she's literally like at the end, just before he leaves, he's like, "You could have your way with me," and then he's just like, "Okay, bye."
Side note, please, nobody make that moment of me going uwu into a soundbite.
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah, but I'd be good with continuing the season.
Alright, like, honestly, because, you know, if you want, like, not, that's what the whole show's about.
No, I know, but I actually kind of want to see where Lewis goes with this, and I'm invested in wanting to know who Thames Killer is. But
Okay.
if I'm not like pleased by the end of this, I ain't doing a season 3, which I just noticed is there.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. There's a pretty solid chance that you will stop after season 2, and I do not blame you.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll because like there's some moments in this where I'm like, do I really want to keep watching this? But I was like, I
Yeah.
do, I kind of do, because I just need to know.
Oh yeah. Just never feel like you have to like keep a show going to make me happy or something.
No, I'm surprised that they've made Lewis a better character, and I want to see what happens with
Yeah.
him. And I want to
Oh
know what
man.
if Legoshi gets his character back at some point.
Yeah. Does Legoshi reunite with Haru, the ship I was rooting for before that is kind of stopped being a thing that I've stopped rooting for?
Because he ruined it.
Yeah, because he ruined it. Now the tension's down, and it's like just find someone, dude. Haru, you could find another carnivore who has angst. I'm sure they're around. I'm sure
Yeah,
you can do better.
there's lots, I'm sure.
You'd find another nice boy that has angst and emotional issues. And I did.
Where? Where? I'll kill him.
Oh shit. Oh, was that mean? Was that mean?
No.
No. Alright, but yeah, I guess that'll do it. I'll see you guys around next time.
But when we complete the final cycle,
When we complete season 2.
will they fuck?
Who?
Hopefully.
Lewis and Legoshi?
Yes. They're on
Obviously.
screen right now. They're on screen right now.
Dude, like, fucking Lewis is going to, like, just get so deep inside Lugosi, it's gonna be crazy.
I have a feeling that like Lewis is a power bottom.
I'm going real. I'm pretty sure Lewis would not accept that.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
think
Lewis is
Lewis
top.
would be too prideful, and he's like, "No, I gotta take the reins on this relationship." And
You're right.
Lugosi would just be like, you know, just super sub, but he's like tsundere about, like, how'd I end up in this situation? And I don't
You're
want to
right.
be on the receiving end. It feels good though. Oh no, my angst. How old are these characters? Don't worry about it. They're
Old enough
animals.
to have guns.
They're old enough to have guns, so fair enough. Later.
Arrivederci.